For years, we've kind of just treated digital tools in healthcare as passive software, right? Systems that just sit there waiting for a doctor or a nurse to input data or ask a specific question. But we're crossing a massive threshold right now. We're shifting away from those passive tools and moving toward proactive, multi-agent AI systems. We're literally no longer just talking about software anymore. We're talking about deploying essential clinical coworkers. So, welcome to this explainer. We're going to unpack exactly how this incredible transformation is happening in medicine today.
To do that, we'll quickly map out our journey. We're going to cover 1. The era of agentic AI. 2. Streamlining the clinical workflow. 3. Continuous patient monitoring. 4. Deploying multi-agent systems. And finally, 5. Human-in-the-loop oversight.
So what actually is agentic AI? Well, unlike those old-school apps, these are intelligent systems that operate proactively, and they do it with deep clinical context. They deliver adaptive, goal-directed support straight across your existing workflows. The key here is that they don't just wait around for a prompt. They actually anticipate what you need.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the era of agentic AI.
To really get this, think about standard generative AI. It's relatively passive. It basically just predicts the next word or answers isolated prompts. But agentic AI, that is a completely different ballgame. It's proactive and goal-directed. It coordinates highly complex tasks across different systems and care teams. It's not just generating text, it's actively executing tasks with intent.
Ethan Mollick actually hits the nail on the head in his book Co-Intelligence. He says, as imperfect as the analogy is, working with AI is easiest if you think of it like an alien person rather than a human-built machine. And that's because these models are emergent. They're a bit unpredictable. Their capabilities create what Mollick calls a jagged frontier, meaning they might totally fail at simple math, but then flawlessly synthesize a massive, complex medical history. So we really have to manage these systems like highly capable but slightly alien colleagues.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, streamlining the clinical workflow.
Out in the real world, AI agents are already stepping in to handle massive administrative burdens. We're talking about preparing complex patient summaries, assisting with pre- and post-interpretive radiology work, and even proactively coordinating care teams. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi future. Right now, major organizations like the Mayo Clinic and Mount Sinai in the US are using these technologies to automate all those time-draining tasks. Over in the UK, the NHS recently launched a project focused specifically on deploying agentic AI collaboratively across their systems. The ultimate goal here? Giving doctors their time back so they can focus on actual, critical clinical judgment.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, continuous patient monitoring. Historically, patient data has been totally trapped in isolated silos, but AI transforms that fragmented information into a longitudinal data journey. Imagine a continuous timeline. It tracks from hour 1 of an ICU admission right through to a day 3 general ward transfer, out to a day 10 virtual care check-in, and all the way to month 1 of home monitoring. By analyzing that whole timeline, AI and advanced analytics reveal hidden patterns. So instead of just reacting to an alarm when things go wrong, care teams get predictive, early detection. And honestly, it goes even deeper than just monitoring. AI is literally being integrated directly into the procedure room now. For example, Philips recently highlighted how AI-enabled device tracking can continuously visualize the exact trajectory and orientation of a minimally invasive device inside a beating heart. Let that sink in. The AI merges real-time imaging and acts as a literal co-pilot, giving the entire surgical team a shared, dynamic understanding of the procedure. It is absolutely mind-blowing.
Okay, moving right along to Section 4, deploying multi-agent systems.
So how do hospitals safely deploy thousands of these complex alien coworkers at scale? Well, we can look at IBM's Think 2026 blueprint for the new AI operating model. It essentially requires 4 tightly integrated systems. First, agents, which have to be managed through a unified orchestration layer for accountability. Second, data, meaning a real-time, AI-ready foundation. Third, automation, to bring in intelligent operations that shift from passive monitoring to actual coordinated responses. And fourth, hybrid environments, to ensure operational sovereignty, strict governance, and security. By using platforms like watsonx Orchestrate and Concert, organizations can actually manage thousands of agents with extreme rigor, making sure they run on fully governed, connected information. And if you're wondering about the ROI on deploying this kind of structured, governed AI architecture, it's pretty undeniable. In a recent cross-industry proof of concept, Nestlé achieved a staggering 83% in cost savings. That's absolutely massive. It proves exactly why laying down proper infrastructure isn't just about safety, it's about unlocking incredible operational efficiency. And that paves the way for the exact same kind of transformation in healthcare.
And that brings us to our final section, human-in-the-loop oversight. Ethan Mollick describes this ideal human-AI collaboration as the Centaur model, and honestly, it applies perfectly to healthcare. In a Centaur workflow, the AI agents bring the scale, the speed, and the massive data synthesis. But the human professionals, they provide the context, the ethics, and that irreplaceable critical clinical judgment. AI isn't here to replace doctors, not by a long shot. It's here to upgrade them into highly capable hybrid teams. But for this to work, the human absolutely must remain in the loop.
And maintaining that oversight isn't just some nice-to-have best practice. It's becoming a strict legal requirement. Under the upcoming August 2026 EU AI Act obligations for high-risk systems, the responsibilities are split. While AI providers have to handle the development and the CE marking, the hospitals and clinics, who act as the deployers, are legally obligated to implement human oversight and constantly monitor system performance. And failing to comply? That can result in staggering regulatory fines. We're talking up to 35 million euros, or 7% of worldwide turnover. So, healthcare administrators have to take their role as deployers incredibly seriously.
So let's reiterate this foundational rule from Ethan Mollick one more time, because it's just that important. The key is to keep humans firmly in the loop, to use AI as an assistive tool, not as a crutch. Medical professionals are both medically and legally required to manage this jagged frontier of AI capabilities. The technology is amazing, but it only works if human expertise is there to guide it.
We've covered a ton of ground in this explainer today, haven't we? From proactive multi-agent systems and real-time clinical co-pilots, all the way to the massive infrastructure shifts and strict regulatory compliances needed to make it happen. The era of agentic AI isn't some distant future. It's already here. So I want to leave you with this final, crucial thought. Will your hospital lead the Centaur revolution or be left behind the jagged frontier? Thank you so much for joining me today, and as always, keep learning.